Since I was in high school, I always said that I wanted to have my own business. Back then, I said that I wanted a car wash, a funeral home, and a bail bonds place. Because everybody in Baltimore, when their car clean, they either getting killed or they getting locked up.
Like if you live in the Mid-Atlantic, the DMV, Baltimore, you get you a good government job. That it used to be this way, right? You set
Mm-hmm.
right, but when you have a business prior to, and you get that bug, right? You know what it feels like to call your own shots, to make some money, see some level of success, and sitting in the cubicle is just way different.
People looking at me like I got two heads when I tell them that, yeah, I got a son and he lives with me and I raised him by myself. Like my mother and my sister helped me, but
Pay down the debt of ignorance, you will get your book out fast with less hiccups.
number one, never let nobody else write your bars.
There you go.
That's number one. That is number
That's
one.
why he win it. The better you get at being yourself and writing from your own point of view, the better you'll be able to communicate whatever value you have to offer to the world. Building with us today is my man. We go all the way back to high school, but we didn't quite know each other. We just knew of each other. And then one fateful day in 2007, we were in the same class for orientation and our careers that started with the government. And then we ended up sitting next to each other and we started talking and we got past our high school rivalry and found out we have a lot of the same taste in music, in sneakers, and a whole bunch of other stuff that only he and I talk about. It's not everybody else's business. So I got my man, Steven McGill, on here, and during our careers, we both started our businesses, built different. It's all about entrepreneurship and building business into the future. And Steven took the future in his hands and he launched a book. He started a book. He wrote a book, put it out. He's now an established author with Mr. Powers and Team Power. So today we had Steven McGill. Steven, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm happy to be here.
I like it. I like it. Man, listen, we both work with the government right now as we're recording this. It's going through a lot of crazy things. So how you handling that? How you handling the whole the government shutdown and everything?
Man, the shutdown actually for me has been a blessing in disguise because it's allowed me to focus more on all of the team power stuff with the books and building more partnerships with some of the schools that I've already worked with, as well as working with new schools and even reaching out to districts outside of Maryland and other states and stuff like that. So it's actually been a blessing in disguise. And I'm kind of looking like they talking about signing the thing, the in the government shutdown. Wait till next week because I got a couple more things I got to finish. We'll see how it go. I mean, I'll take the money for sure, but it's like I'm actively working on some things, and I'm like, yo, if I just got a little bit more time, I could knock it out, and then back in business as usual.
Nice, nice. So I thought about you 2 days ago, and I was like, I can't believe I got this far in and didn't hit my man up. Not just because we're buddies, and not just because you have a business, but you have a unique perspective like I do. But this podcast isn't about me. You get to share your story on how you kind of, before we explain what Mr. Powers is, I want you to talk about the amount of mental effort it takes to launch a whole project and you still have a full-time job. And then it's not just a project, like it's a whole living entity. Like it has characters. There's a book that people who rely on you, there's students, you have people that you work with. So talk about the process of getting to the fact that I'm gonna start the business and then tell us about the actual business and your books.
So I'm going to use a couple. Like we might jump a couple places, but I'm gonna get there.
That's fine.
My inspiration was always hip hop,
Okay.
and Master P was one of my favorites as far as not as an artist, because that was like Nas and Ghostface and Raekwon, but as a hustler and as a businessman, because he was doing it out the trunk. They was putting out a No Limit album every week, and it was always something. He was always about his business. Now I will tell you that I have never listened to none of those No Limit albums in full. I know the singles and a couple of the album cuts, but I have never listened because that wasn't my style of music. But I always respected what he did. And what I also was kind of looking at is like, since I was in high school, I always said that I wanted to have my own business. Back then, I said that I wanted a car wash, a funeral home, and a bail bonds place. Because everybody in Baltimore, when their car clean, they either getting killed or they getting locked up. That was my idea in 12th grade. Obviously, I wasn't built to be a mortician. If you know anything about the bail bonds, a lot of the bail bonds companies have kind of like had to close their doors because they changed the laws in Maryland.
Mhm.
But I actually opened the car wash with my father.
Nice. I didn't know that.
I graduated on a Friday, and that following Monday, and I'm talking about graduated from Morgan. This is when I graduated from college.
Okay.
I graduated on a Friday, and on a Monday we opened up. Um, and that was a learning experience because I had no idea what I was doing. I had a fresh business degree. I knew how to write business plans, but I had no idea how to run a business. And my father had the mouthpiece and the money behind it and all of that.
Mhm.
But together we didn't really know what we was doing, and it was semi-successful. But at the end of the day, I'm a kid straight out of college, and I needed some stability. I needed uh like I needed health insurance.
Yeah.
So those things propelled me to the 9-to-5 world. But I always knew that I didn't want to work the rest of my life for somebody else. So
Gotcha.
eventually I had to find a way to do that, and it ended up turning into the books. Strange.
No, I like that because as I talk to a lot of other people, you and I really, like I said, we talk about a lot of other stuff that we don't, that everybody else not privy to. But
Right.
that's for both you and, like, I didn't know that you had a car wash, right? But I had a business before I started when we started working with the government. So
Mhm.
say, well, how did you get into it, or what made you so confident to leave the good government job? Like, if you live in the Mid Atlantic, the DMV, Baltimore, you get you a good government job. That it used to be this way, right? You set
Mhm.
life, but when you have a business prior to, and you get that bug, right? You know what it feels like to call your own shots, to make some money, see some level of success, and sitting in the cubicle is just way different. So you already have
Yeah.
what it takes. You already have what it takes. And so I'm glad that's why I wanted to have you on here. I didn't know that. That's the first time I heard that, but it makes so much sense now. It makes so much sense. So since you already knew what it was like to have your own business, you started writing your book. So tell us about how that came about and the ideas and what inspired that.
So the crazy thing is, the reason that I had to leave the car wash thing and kind of just like do it on the weekends and helping my father was because I had a brand new kid.
Okay. Okay.
And by me having this brand new kid, my whole life changed.
Yeah.
But my money wasn't coming in steady. I had to go to the 9-to-5, but I knew what I really wanted to do. But what started happening is I'm going through this journey of being this young single father. I'm coming up with real life experiences, and I'm realizing more than anything, like people looking at me like I got two heads when I tell them that, yeah, I got a son and he lives with me and I raised him by myself. Like my mother and my sister helped me, but
Right.
yeah, I had him since he was 3 months old. And as I started going through that and telling my story more, I realized I'm like, well, you know what? I could probably share this in some ways with some other people, and they might even be able to help them out or inspire them, or they be able to see themselves in me and my story. And I took that. I took my love for reading books to my son, but noticing that it wasn't ever characters that look like us, talk like us, or deal with situations that we deal with,
Hmm.
and my love of hip hop. And I wrote the books with rhyming words and created the characters loosely
Okay.
based off my kids. And that's kind of how we got to it.
Nice. Nice. And then you took it a step further. You had, I remember when we working together and you were like going back and forth with, your illustrator. I don't mean that in a bad way, but like you guys were working on the plan and, working on timing to get the illustrations and everything together. And you got a hardcover book. Like, that's not lightweight. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
major, man. I was so proud when I seen it. Your book is upstairs on my bookshelf right now.
my man. I appreciate that. Man, I went in with the idea that we was gonna be like the rapper and the DJ. I
Okay.
provide the words, he provides the scratches and the elements and the production and all of that.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. It was both of our first times. It's
Mhm.
my first time ever writing a book. His first time ever illustrating like to that level.
Yeah.
He did his own art, and he's always done his own art, but like to illustrate a whole book is different. So when I tell you we went through so many trials and tribulations, even to the fact of finding out that I overpaid for them hardcover books.
Mm.
Like I left so much money on the table because of how much I paid, because I found a smaller company and everything looked good in presentation, even the landscape side. Like you don't see a lot of hardcover books in that landscape layout, but
Yeah.
I paid for all of that. And I'm just thinking like, man, I'm gonna put whatever expenses, I'm not sparing no expenses, I'm gonna just put it out there. And then I learned later on, like, it's so many better ways to do it and it's easier. But I had to I was building the plane as I was flying.
right? That's most of us in business, man. You building
Yeah.
it while you find it. So real quick, just tell us like one or two other things you learned about that. So you spent too much money,
Mm-hmm.
not just because it was hardcover, but basically from where you got it from, like where you sourced it.
Right.
If you was to like if you drop another one, which I'm sure you're gonna drop other books probably, but
Yeah.
how would you go about doing it? Like say somebody else got a story to share. They need like one,
Mhm.
2, 3 steps to go about getting their book published and they want a physical copy.
So, the funny thing is, after I found out that I paid too much, I actually spoke to a young lady that put her own books out, and she put me on with Ingram Spark. And
Okay.
Ingram Spark is like a self-publishing company. They basically like a print vendor, self-publishing company all in one. Like you can have them as your publisher, or if you do like me, where you created your own publishing company, you could just use them as the vendor to both get your stuff printed, to put it on all of the digital marketplaces like the Amazons, the
Okay.
Barnes and Nobles and all of that. And, it's like a all-in-one hub. I think they also have, Amazon has one too. I forgot what it's called, but I didn't like how their shipping was. I like Ingram's shipping better. But what I actually did is I paid it forward, and I helped 2 different people publish their children's books just by kind of giving them the game that somebody gave me. But then what I did after that is I said, hey, this is a business model.
Mm-hmm.
So I just documented my process. And now, if you want, you can either have me walk you through the steps in the process. And if you created your own publishing company, I can give you the steps in the process and tell you how to do that. Or Empower Publishing, my publishing company, we can publish your book for you. It ain't gonna be no Diddy. It ain't gonna it's like you own all your stuff. The only thing we're doing is putting it out there for you. You own everything, you get everything, give you the setup and the blueprint and all of that. But I actually during COVID, I published a children's book for the University of Maryland on COVID safety.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a process because they had already had a completed book, but they did it on like some little smaller website that allows you to plug and play stuff, and it did not align with what the publisher uses. It was a long process, but needless to say, from that point on, I was like, okay, well, I could actually start helping people put their books out in that way as well. So it's a couple different ways we could do it.
Nice. Congratulations on that, yo. I didn't even know that, man. My man making moves in silence. So
Yeah.
you hear it here. You can just all your contact will be in the description. You can just publish with Empower Publishing. I like that.
My man.
See, so what you just talked about is something that a lot of times as people who are just getting into entrepreneurship, they often feel like they can do a lot of stuff on their own.
Right.
And just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should do it. Right? That could be for anything from responding to emails to providing a service or, taking the steps to learn. Like, yeah, you can make your own website for cheap, or yeah, you can set up your own publishing. But one, you pay for ignorance has a price, right?
Oh, for sure. For
You
sure.
pay down the debt of ignorance, you will get your book out fast with less hiccups if you just publish with Empower Publishing or with anybody else with Ingram Spark. Like sometimes we get so prideful, or you feel like this is another thing. Tell me if you heard this before. Like they be like, oh, he did that. I can do that too. I can do it myself. Or how much it cost? Man, that ain't. I found that you can do it for cheaper if you just do it. And then you over here trying to do it a la carte to save a couple dollars, but you got to spend an extra month to get the thing done. And you making that business is actually a service to somebody. You helping somebody else publish their book is a service to somebody else. So I commend you for that. And I'm glad you shared that because I didn't know.
Well, I appreciate that. And let me just tell you and anybody who's listening, I am not as far as I thought I would be right now because I do most of the stuff myself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I got my illustrator, I got my graphic designer, but as far as like a cohesive team that like I'm the rapper, then we got the DJ, then we got the Dame Dash in the background. No, I'm all of that in one.
Yeah.
And when I tell you it is not easy, that's why lately I've been trying to get out of my own way, but also just utilize other tools and other techniques to help like either automate some of those processes or just to take something that would take me forever doing it by myself and, just take one of those weights off my shoulders because it's not easy and it's really not smart. And when you look at anybody that's super successful, it's not just them.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is a team sport, man, for real.
For sure.
And
For sure.
all of us gonna be starting on our own, just based on whatever circumstances or the fact that we can't really allow anybody who want to do the thing with us, but you're still gonna need people along the way. But you talking about like tools and automation, that's what it's all about on Built Different. And
Right.
so some of those things I know for you are AI. We work together on some AI processes and
Oh yeah.
some of the things. So did that make things easier for you? Well, you and I worked on email marketing campaigns and
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff up. So how did that work? Were you able
Matt, that was perfect because I was able to just plug and play. Once I put all my stuff in there and gave it what I wanted it to say, and don't let any AI say stuff for you. If you are good with words, stay good with words. Don't let AI do nothing for you. You just let it automate the process and make things simpler. Something that may take you 2 hours, it could take AI maybe 25, 30 minutes or something like that. Use it like that. But it definitely helped. I was able to kind of streamline some of my processes. I still got more work to do. I still got to work on my automation of my like promoting my content and stuff like that. But that's something that I just had to work on my own. But for the most part, is work wonders for me.
Yeah, and well, I'm glad that was helpful. And you had the cheat code because you know how to write. And people, I'm trying to find the words for this without sounding like I don't want to bash anybody, but
You don't want to sound like leaders.
yeah, like it can make you lazy. And what I found is that AI will expose how much you're willing to really do, right? Because if you let it write everything for you, there are smart people in the world who realize like that is totally AI copy. We call it AI slop. Like somebody, but you have, and this probably could be another service for you. I'm not trying to put too much more on your plate, but you could probably just be an editor for some of these books too, because like you're gifted at writing. But a lot,
So
everybody doesn't start at the same point of when it comes to writing, and it's really just like it's really about being able to articulate what you want.
yeah.
Give it a simple prompt, but if it's simple and clear, you'll get better outcomes from AI or automating anything. But again, you understand what good writing looks and sounds like. So
Right.
if somebody is just listening to this and they do want to write a little bit better, can you tell them some of the tips? So for you guys that don't know, Steven writes raps too. Or
I used to. I
right?
used to. I haven't
Yeah.
wrote.
So
I haven't rapped since 2012.
wow.
I still got like a little notepad with some bars and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And the last song I ever recorded was with Jay Piro. I was at his crib. That's the last thing I
Yeah.
ever recorded.
Okay.
2012.
What are some of the tips that you take from writing rhymes or vice versa, like writing rhymes to writing a book or writing a email? Like, is there any kind of thing that you notice that you use across that, like some kind of framework you follow for having good, clear writing?
Number one, never let nobody else write your bars.
There you go.
That's number one. That is number
That's
one.
why you win it.
And see, I might have a cheat code because my mother was a teacher.
Okay.
My father got the gift of gab, like still to this day. So I think the blend of those two, I'm never not going to be good with words, but it's also a skill because you got to read, you got to learn stuff, you got to extend your vocabulary, there's so many things, but more than anything else, like you got to make it you. Like it has to be in your tone and your style and whatever that is for you. Like if we talking about rap, there's so many different styles and flows. Which one is yours? And that's kind of what you got to do. And you can change it up depending on what you don't. But I think for the most part, the number one thing I would say is be original. Because once you set that tone, that becomes your writing style. Like Thoreau doesn't write the same as Shakespeare, and Shakespeare doesn't write the same as a Nas, and Nas don't write the same as Master P. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your tone? What is your style? Come up with that, and then just lean all the way into it, and always try to get better and improve. I think that's like rule number one.
I like that. And I don't even know how many more rules they need after that. The better you get to being yourself and writing from your own point of view, the better you'll be able to communicate whatever value you have to offer to the world. And if you have a business, you can better communicate your value to to your customers or to your audience. So yeah.
Can I say something on that as far as business?
Yeah.
Man, I see so many people that have a business and they may do amazing in their craft and in their field, but when I hear them talk, when I see what they put out in the advertising, I cringe a little bit. And it's like, maybe this might be elitist in me, and I'm trying to not be judgmental, but I'm like, yo, you could get so many more customers if you worded that better, if you said that better. When people make brands and stuff like that, I'm like, yo, why you name that? The naming convention keeps you in a box, whereas if you change the name, like, you open it up to so much more. So I'm real big on how you communicate with your audience, how you communicate with your potential customers, and just how you present yourself as a business. I seen some stuff the other day, and the dude was like cussing in his advertisement. And then, like, maybe that's your brand, but like, yo, what if there's somebody that you got exactly what they want, but they get turned off by certain words that you're saying? It's like, at the end of the day, that's your style and that's your flow. That's how you rap or whatever. But it's like, if I'm advertising something to a bunch of people, I might want to be mindful of what I say and how I say it. Now, when they come in the store, I can say whatever I want. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how I look at it. But that's my opinion on it.
Yeah. So it's levels. It's levels to the communication, right? You got your style, but the way you deliver your style in certain settings or whatever, sometimes you have to switch it up.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. No, that's good advice. I mean, that go back to kind of like hip hop, right? If you're writing a song that's supposed to be, if you're writing on raps on the R&B song, it's going to be different from if you over some hardcore boom bap, right? So,
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Remember back in the day, they used to record 2 different versions of the same song. It would be the radio version, and then it would be the album version. In the album version, you could really get off what you want, but this one for the masses, I might have to cut this word out, or they may have to mute this word, or I have to change it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's where I come from.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have to compromise being yourself, but like, yo, there was a radio version and then there was an album version. It's the same song. It's just, I might change this word up, that word, and they recorded both because they knew what the end goal was. We want to reach as many people as possible.
Got you. Yeah. See, that what you just said is something that I talk about all the time when I'm consulting with people, right? You want the end goal. The end goal matters so much. So communication, all business is communication, right?
Right.
Brian Leslie, he always say, like, I follow Brian Leslie a lot. He said, success moves at the speed of communication.
Okay.
But communication is everything in business, and there's an end goal in business. That's why entrepreneurship is still a sport. Like, there's a scoreboard. The scoreboard may not be money. It is for most businesses, right? But it could be impact. It could be, customer base, depending on what your goals are. It could be shares, right? It could be market share. It could just be profit margin. Like, it's so many different goals, but there's an end goal. So it's something that's measurable, and you want to always keep that in mind. And are you communicating effectively towards that end goal? Are you communicating that to your team, like internally, and then externally? Are you communicating that right to your audience? And then are you communicating to the audience for that setting? So there's a lot of lessons learned in that. I appreciate you sharing that, man. That was great.
No doubt.
Yeah. So before we started this conversation, we had an idea, because you and I were talking recently about doing a presentation, right? You were just talking about presentations. So you were coming up against, tell me the problems that you were bumping your head against with ChatGPT. And then,
man, the ChatGPT had me, like, my anxiety, like, I don't even get anxiety. I come from where we didn't have anxiety, but ChatGPT got on my nerves so much yesterday because I had an idea that I was going to be on ChatGPT for 1 hour and 30 minutes yesterday. And I was going to use 30 minutes on this small project and then 1 hour on this larger project. The small project, which should have been very quick and should have, like, literally took 30 minutes or less, took me about 2.5 hours, and it still didn't finish because it kept on, I'm giving everything that I want specific, but it kept on repeating the same thing over and over, like Mike Jones. I'm like, no, yes, I want you to change this from bullet points to lightning bolts and match the style of Mr. Power.
right.
Okay, so just to make sure, you want me to change this? You want me to change it? Yes, confirm. Okay, before we go ahead and do this, are you sure that you, like, come on, man. When I tell you, it took it frustrated me so much that I had to reset. Like, I threw some Max B on last night. I was like, you know what? I'm getting away from the computer. I live to fight another day. Like, it really got on my nerves. And that's why I hit you. I was like, yo, am I doing something wrong? Because I'm literally telling it everything that I want to do. And it's just repeating the same thing over and over. It's like, yo, just give me what I asked for.
Right. And the output you wanted was a presentation, right?
Yeah, it was a PowerPoint slide with 5 slides. I mean, it's a PowerPoint presentation with 5 slides. I just wanted them to just like update the colors and the font and stuff, just make it look better, because when I did it initially, it was a rush job and I just needed something quick and it looked super generic. And I'm like, look good, smell good, feel good, play good. I wanted it to be how I'm used to seeing my presentations. And it's like, I don't have to present for another 2 weeks, but let's get this out the way because I know it's quick.
Yeah.
And it took forever.
All right. So when we talked about that yesterday, and then we got on here. I was like, yo, let's do some live AI presentations. So
Okay.
we're just going to freestyle some presentations, and we're going to do it across different AI platforms so we can see which ones work the best. I've done presentations for clients, like literally in 20 minutes. Actually, it wasn't even a part of my contract. And they asked me like, hey, we need to tie up this deal with somebody. Can you do this for us real quick? And I was like, I still had the paperwork on it. Like I still had to file my drive. So I was like, all right, I got you. And the only reason I said yes is because I knew it wouldn't take me long. And that's because I was using this tool called Gamma. And so at the time, Gamma is at Gamma 3.0. So this is Gamma .app. So before we get to diving into Gamma, that's this freestyle idea. So we going to make a 5-slide presentation, and I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. You need an idea? Because I got one.
Give it to me.
We could go championships. And let's go with players that had a team around them versus players that tried to do it on their own.
All right. So you can see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
we get a little bit closer.
All right. So we want to create a 5-slide presentation on players that had a good team and players that didn't.
Mm-hmm. As far as like what it takes to win a championship. So let's go.
Okay.
We can go.
We're going to say what it takes to win a championship, like in the NBA.
Yep. Let's go NBA. And I said AI because we're using AI.
All right.
But we can go Iverson. We can go Mike. And maybe, do you think we should add some other players, or you think we could just go and compare and contrast the two of those?
You said Iverson, Mike, and Kobe. Who you say?
We could do Kobe. We could do somebody in between. Like, what you think? We freestyling right now.
So let's have people who actually won. So we're going to use Mike and Kobe, AI and Charles Barkley. And
boom, perfect.
It'll give us, like, we can do a slide on each one.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and they both was MVP, so that's good.
A 5-slide. I don't think. Okay. Yes. So I use Whisperflow to dictate a lot of stuff.
Okay. And what's that?
So it's a dictation app, but it has AI on the back end. So it picks up and it formats your conversation. It's not just one word blob. And you'll see how it finishes up here. So I'm going to create a 5-slide presentation on what it takes to win a championship in the NBA. Each slide should compare the championship runs between Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, and Charles Barkley. Each slide should be less than 50 words. So I didn't use any tools for this just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going through this. So we're going to do ChatGPT. We're going to let it give us the slides. And it may just give us the text. All right, boom. So it gave us the text.
Oh.
Mindset, leadership, cool. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take each one of these slides and I'm going to tell ChatGPT to make it in Canva. Well, I don't know if you have your Canva connected to this. See, so
no, I need to.
So this is what you came up against last night. See where it say, would you like me to format this into a PowerPoint or a Google slide next? And then you would say yes, and then it'll go back through and keep reading
every one of those steps.
Yeah.
15 times.
Yeah. So we're gonna let it do all PowerPoint. Yes, give me a PowerPoint. So it should give us a PPT file. And we're just gonna compare how all of them look, right? So now that we got all these slides, we're gonna use the exact same slide in each tool once we get it. So boom. All right, so it gave me a PowerPoint slide. So I just downloaded it. We're gonna open it. And I think it should let me hold on one. This is live, you know what I'm saying? We ain't write these bars. This is not a
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't do a young jock and try
but we're doing this
to write your bars.
Yeah, so we're doing this so that everybody can see how it is to use these tools, like what you were saying earlier in our conversation. to automate some of the things that you don't want to spend all your time on. So this gave us a super plain PowerPoint, right? So it gave you all 5 of the slides. And you see that only took us 2 minutes, right? Less than 2 minutes, really. So mindset, leadership, team construction, adaptability, and legacy. Right now, if we want to tighten this up, we want to give it some color. We add some photos of Michael Jordan or whatever, and then we would probably we would add like a cover, like a cover slide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I know already, when you understand the proper context, it may or may not be able to source photos, especially NBA photos, because
Yeah, because of the
Right, so-
copyright.
yeah. But so that's just one quick example of using ChatGPT to create a PowerPoint. So we're going to take the exact same presentation, right? All the way, we're going to take the exact same slides, and we are going to let's have it do it in Canva and see how it looks. Do you have a Canva account?
So I have one that I used to use strictly on my mobile. I've never used it on the desktop. I probably need to retrieve my password because it's been so long. It's probably like
Yeah.
the pandemic was when I was really heavy on using it, but I need to get back to it.
Nah, so this is good. Like you gave us a great idea. We just doing this joint live, and then hopefully we all can figure out which one works best. So we're going to turn on Canva. So my Canva is connected, and so we're going to say, create the slideshow, create a slide presentation using the slides below in Canva. We wanted to have a masculine feel, so use like some kind of dark colors, but also use photos of basketball players and things like that inside of the slides. So you can just kind of tell it whatever you want, right?
Yeah. And I realized that what that's doing is it also picks up your tone and knows your pauses and stuff like that and all of
Yes.
that.
So
I like that. I like
so
that.
using Whisper Flow, like Whisper Flow can autocorrect for you too. So let's say if you say something that you don't mean, you say, my bad, I mean, you won't see my bad, I mean, it'll just delete
Yeah.
that out
Okay.
and
Okay.
continue with the. So let's see how it says. So it takes a little bit longer when it's building in Canva. So while
Yeah.
it's doing that, I'm gonna do I don't think I have any more Gamma credits over there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new free account.
Yeah. And see, that's the other thing. Credits. I just learned about credits and tokens last night.
Yeah, can you see
I
this
like
green
the
screen?
arcade.
Can you see this green screen right here?
Yeah.
So ChatGPT is doing that. We are going to try creating the same presentation in Gamma. So I'm gonna hold up. Yeah, we're gonna sign in. I don't think I have Gamma on this account. And so this is fun because I've recorded this. I recorded making slides once or twice. Now I can't. So all right, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, bro. They can pick the Michael Jordan. Look at this. You see this?
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
So when you use, so if you're watching this live demo, when you create, so if you didn't know, ChatGPT now has app functionality. So you can build apps that work live in ChatGPT, like Canva, Figma, Zillow. I have a few here. So when it goes, it's already connected to my paid Canva account. I told it to use masculine tones, so it used dark navies, and it's going to create 4 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. It gave me 5. It's going to create 5 versions of whatever you ask for. And we can what you do is you click on each one, and then you can see the slides. And if you like it, see this top right corner, you can just open it in Canva, right? So what ChatGPT has better context for, now that I told it to open in Canva, it gave us an automatic opening slide. You see this joint, yo?
Yeah. That's. I'm learning as I'm watching.
Yeah. So mindset, leadership, and look, it shows it broke out. So let's open up that phony one. All right. So each slide compares how each player approached the topic. So mindset for Jordan was ruthless. Kobe had Mamba mentality. Iverson was known for being fearless. Barkley was passionate and undisciplined, right? So it's neater in this slide than it was on this. This is just like the bullet points, right?
It's a list. Right.
Yeah, it's just a list. So let's check out the second one.
Yeah,
His jump shot looked broke, but
I was definitely mid.
yeah, right. This one got a bit more team athletic vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. Now
That one seemed a little more like generic.
Yeah, that was a little more generic. And that one looked like something that you would get your intern to put together, right?
Yeah, like some clip art, almost modern day clip art.
Yeah, clip art vibes. So this one is modeled. This one looks like it's modeled more after this because it didn't give us a title slide. It just threw everything in, added a few extra words like this sentence, mindset, focus defines champions, like added some better text and context. See, like these paragraphs, see how each one of these has a full paragraph and a something? So it's using more context to make it smarter.
Yeah.
I didn't know it would do that, but
I was gonna say I didn't know Canva had the ability to add text to what you already gave.
yeah, so Canva, well, that's the thing. Canva didn't do this. ChatGPT
Oh,
did.
ChatGPT did it through Canva. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can do it in Canva. Canva has a AI function, but we just want to focus on this joint.
Yeah.
This one is using somewhat about this is I don't know if you know, but this is this is a AI generated image.
I
But it
can't
looks
even
like an
tell, but
opposite
that's
jersey. Huh?
I couldn't even tell at first.
Yeah, I only know because like I can see closer and that's not really
Okay.
opposite space, but it looked like an old Philly jersey. It got number 3. He got on some sneakers. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But so boom, this is decent. I like that it kept the little paragraphs.
Right.
That's an example of how to use Canva. Now, which one did you like the most?
I like the one that had the title slide, the second one.
This
What's
one,
that?
right?
Let me see.
Hold
Oh,
on.
go back. What's that? I think it was that one. Let me go to the second slide. Let me see. I think I kind of like that one.
Yeah. All right. And so what you would do is you would just click open in Canva. And so it's going to import, boom. It's just going to import the whole thing as a live presentation. And then this way you come over and then like it has the today's date, main auditorium. So let's just say we presenting this 6 p.m. East Baltimore. We're just gonna put that right now, right? But here you could change this out and put team powers presentation. And just that fast, we got a full presentation. And then we can go if we want to add like some basketballs or add a little Kobe in the background or something like that. But this is pretty solid. Team construction, adaptability, and then our contact info. And so that's the benefit of using Canva. Canva is made for presentations. So it understands the context that you add title slides to presentations, you add closing slides to presentations, which typically have social media, website, domain. So boom.
Okay.
So sometimes it's gonna cover some stuff you don't think. And these little signals are something that like people would need to be trained on if you're not a designer. But see how I keep throwing this little logo in there? If you would not paying attention, you would just like put this out, right? But if you already got a brand logo, all you gotta do is go in and just swap this, right? You could go to brand if you use Canva, and then you can add in your logos and stuff. So
let me ask you this: is this the paid version of Canva as well?
Yeah, this is the paid.
Okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and get that subscription because I'm gonna need that because this just that fast is 10 times better than what it took me 2.5, almost 3 hours to complete.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. When I asked you that you had to pay the ChatGPT, I knew it could give you this file that we're looking at now. I know it could give you a PowerPoint slide, but I didn't know if you had Canva. And I was like, well, once we thought we was going to talk, I was like, yo, we can do this. So yeah,
yeah. So
even if you're only paying, you got time to do one more. Let's try it.
Yeah. Look, I got time because I'm learning more. Like I'm about to link that paid ChatGPT to the paid Canva, and we gonna get paid.
So they don't if you don't give it a theme, if you don't give it like a design detail like what I just did, it's going to give you totally different themes. And so this is not a knock to Canva, but it is design aesthetic, and a lot of people who are better at design are often women. So a lot of the things skew neutral or feminine tone. So if you have brand, this is just advice for anybody using it. If you have brand guidelines, give it your brand, like what you were doing, Thunderbolts. I know you use like sky blue and stuff like that, right? So you could give it the hex codes, like the 6-digit code for the color, or you can just tell it, give it a sky blue or whatever. And that way it stay more on theme. If not, it's going to give you a bunch of different things. So I'm not saying it's going to be all neutral or all feminine, but it's going to give you one of those 5 is going to be like that. So with Gamma, I knew about Gamma when it first started, and it was doing AI presentations. So I'm just setting up a quick account. And 2.0 Gamma, it was built kind of with the image generation tools in mind. So access better image generation. Remember ChatGPT went crazy and everybody was using it for the photos? Gamma already had that and more. It was already using better files. So to walk through real quick, this is what I was telling you last night. So with Gamma, you can go natural text, like you can use natural text to create a presentation. You can have it generate from one line, like you can one shot a prompt and have a presentation, or you can import like a Google document or something like that. Or
Right.
you can just remix a template that you already uploaded. So we are going to generate from an outline, which is the one we did from ChatGPT.
Right. Right.
So let me go. I gotta close this out. All right, boom. So actually, you can just click this button. Now I don't know that I need to put my directions. Oh, switch back. So with Gamma, if you can see over here on the right hand side, it gives you instructions on how to do the layout. So it knows how to read bullet points. If you give it 3 dashes, it's gonna uh, separate each card.
Okay.
Gamma, when you're using, you can choose presentation mode. You can make a web page, so it's going to give you a live link to whatever the page is. You can just make a regular downloadable document like a Google Doc, or you can format it for a social media post. In this case, we're going to use presentation. Now, I'm gonna put in the 3 dashes between each slide. I think that the way that this is written out, let's just see if it works. Forget it. Let's just see if it works.
Yeah. Let's run it.
Yeah, let's just run it. Summarize, generate from note to outline. So Gamma takes a little bit more time. So here it is. You can choose if you want minimal, concise, like as far as like the copy and the text.
Right.
And then you see over here where it says write for. So this is for your audience, like you was talking about earlier, like who's the setting, who we talking to, right? These little church words in this presentation.
Right.
And then tone, like you talked about, nobody writing our own bar, so we got to make sure we got our tone. Well, it inherited the tone from what you just said. The way I talk to whisper flow, confident, bold, but concise. And then it picked up on the color palette, masculine, dark, aesthetic, energetic. All right. And as you can see at the bottom right here, we can only get up to 20 cards free. So anybody watching, anybody listening to this, 20 cards. This is going to give us 10 cards. Like we can bump this down, but we're just going to run it like you said. What I like about using Gamma is you got to be mindful of the credits. But once it gives you the presentation, you can edit right in the presentation, and then you can switch off the theme. So I already knew it was going to give us this hokey green theme. But look at this. It's a basketball court out in nature. Like that's dope.
Yeah.
For this theme.
I was like, I ain't never seen that before.
Yeah, but for this theme anyway. So
like hooping out in Bali or something.
Exactly, like we're hooping in Bali. But this is actually, it's a little hoop around here in the Herburn Park. They got a half court back there with like trees and stuff all around.
Oh yeah. From back in the day, yeah. Go back there.
So here's each slide, and then what Gamma said, like you can go in. Again, it inherits context, so it's changing some of the copy. Check this out though. This is actually dope for the theme, and you see these dudes. Look at Lance Stevenson. Like, yo, this is dope. Look, critical insight. Great leaders balance pressure with purpose. They demand excellence. That sounds like AI copy, but it's sharp.
It's go in and give it your own twist.
Yeah. Yep, you can go in and give it your own. Building championship rosters. And I like how it broke up, gives you the 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's cool. Iverson solo act. That's the first thing you said. Like Iverson was by himself.
One with Aaron McKee.
Yeah. Yeah, basically Iverson was carrying a bunch of scrubs. But I like
respectable people, but
yeah, they good NBA players, but they wasn't, nice.
They wasn't Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah. System and synergy equals success. These illustrations, do you like these illustrations? Because I'm liking these illustrations.
Yeah, I like it. It looked crisp and clean. Like I'm thinking like this, it looked like it almost remind me of like, remember Skybox, the basketball cards from back in the day, but like a modern version.
Yeah. This basketball is a little janky. That's an AI basketball for sure.
But you know what though? From like not looking at as close as you looking at it, it looked like a futuristic trope.
Yeah. But look, it shows the number of rings it won. So this, I don't think that was in our slides, yo.
About how many rings? Not at all.
I don't think that was in our slides. Oh no, it was. Here it goes.
It must have been the last slide.
Yeah, about their legacy. All right, and then look, Jordan's perfection, 100%. Right, that's why everybody say he the greatest. He never lost.
Kobe 83, AI and Chuck 0. That's crazy. And all MVP.
Yeah, all of them got MVP.
Kobe never got a league MVP, did he?
No, he did. He got one, but he should have had 2.
That was the Steve Nash around that time.
Yeah.
Okay. This was after Shaq though.
Yeah. So it give you a breakdown. So this is why we got 10 slides. It added like championship formula, greatness needs rings. So it's taking context from the championship conversation that we have in sports. But aside from this theme being like green, that's not like that wouldn't be a real
Basketball.
sports theme. Yeah.
Like,
But I think that was a great theme. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, man. So
yeah, that's crazy though. Like I'm locked in looking at that. I'm like, man, like this is, I like that. I like that.
yeah, and that was just what 15, 20 minutes. We did three
Yeah.
general PowerPoint, we did a Canva
Mhm.
PowerPoint presentation, and we did a Gamma presentation. So those are some AI tools that we can use to do presentations. So in your case, you'll be presenting like a lot of the curriculum that you have around your around your books, and around your other programming. So tell me about some of your other programming. Let's close out with that. That's more important.
So I do first of all, I do just going to schools doing live readings and performances of Mr. Powers Volume 1 and 2. But also I do the bullying awareness stuff. I've been dealing with that a lot lately because it's been a hot item in the schools. Also health and wellness,
Okay.
because Volume 2 is called Snack Attack. It's about kids making healthier choices and staying active and fit. So those are some of the things that I do. But what I want to do is I want to build, and I'm not want to, I'm actually in the process of building entire programming around some of those things. In addition to the fatherhood stuff I do, the super dad, superhero. So like I'm doing the content on social media, just doing the videos just to stay active and to keep that exercising. Pretty much you work those muscles, if not you lose them. But the goal is to just to keep the conversation going in all aspects, and then just to work with our kids and just to make them better all around.
And just real quick, you can you share a bit about how you spotted like this kind of business opportunity? So people listening to this, they might be interested in maybe not just writing books, but like the fact that you realize that my books aren't just for anybody, like they're for kids in school. They're for kids. Kids are in school. Right. Everybody's not putting these types of things together. And then you expand in you got volume 1, you got volume 2, you got curriculum, you got performances, you got read alongs, you got the health and wellness incorporated. Like, how are you stacking this all up? Because that's really how businesses grow naturally. You start with one thing and then you add on to it. So how did you kind of start figuring that out?
Honestly, man, it just kind of happened naturally. It started coming together because when I first had the idea of writing children's books, I was like, oh, I'm going to write 7 different books about 7 different topics. And by the time I got to the second one, I was like, yo, no, I ain't got to do it like that. I could weave that stuff in there, but let's focus on what I see that our kids really need.
There you go.
Childhood obesity is higher than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Like bullying, when it comes to like cyberbullying, is insane right now. Like I had to go to my daughter's school and middle school a couple times over girls beeping in the group chat. It's stuff that we didn't have to deal with, but it's like, yo, when you lived long enough to see some of this stuff, and then you also know how to remedy it, like, you know, how to remedy it, what you do after that is like, oh, like, how can I present this in a way that aligns with my business to not only help me in business, but to help people and to help our kids? Because at the end of the day, no matter what you're in business for, I believe that if you are not providing a good and a service that makes people's lives better in some way, you're not really going to succeed. And I think once you find that and it aligns, it's like, just go, just go. And that's just kind of how it's just all been falling in place lately. And I just want to keep pushing.
That's amazing, man. That's something that's difficult for a lot of entrepreneurs, I find. If you find something that aligns, just go. You don't need to change. And like I say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? You do want to keep your eye open for new opportunities, but the market tells you what they want. Like you said, you had a bunch of ideas, but childhood obesity was just right there in front of you. It was a real problem that needed to be solved, and you already had a vehicle to solve it. So I commend you on that. That's I hope somebody listening to that realize, like, yo, look at the people that you're already serving. What are they responding to? We know you got all the creative juices, you got all of the dope ideas, but what are the people who are already into your business ecosystem? What do they want of what they want? Because that's who's going to support it. That's who's going to share it with the rest of the world. So, so yeah, man, tell us, let's drop all the information where everybody can find you and where they can buy books, where they can book you for anything.
So you can get the books at weareteampowers.com. Weareteampowers.com. You can get volume 1 and volume 2. I'm working on volume 3 right now. Once I finish doing my stuff with my AI, then I'm putting the AI to the side and just writing these bars. You can follow me on IG at Steven Has Powers. That's STEPHEN Has Powers, and the Team Powers World page on Instagram. Team Powers World.
Got you. I'm gonna put all of the links to IG, to the website, and so your booking information too for any kind of for schools and everything, or any kind of.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you asked. So you could reach out to me at this. My email is Steven STEPHEN at weareteampowers.com.
Got you. Got you. All right, Steven. Well, look, we always catch up. So
Yeah.
I'll be talking to you pretty soon, but I appreciate your time. But building with me on Built Different, and good luck on completing Volume 3, man. Talk to you
I
soon.
appreciate that, my man.